When you're considering bankruptcy, it's a court process. You have to go through the courts. And the process is different from state to state. The way it's going to impact you and your family, we all have some similarities when it comes to finances, but we're all very different. So how you get the most out of bankruptcy, whether you're filing Chapter 7 or Chapter 13, generally is going to be through the engagement of an attorney, somebody who works in those courts, knows the process, provides bankruptcy services, legal services on a daily basis in your area. That's how you get the most out of it. Now, there are instances where people can accomplish a DIY or a do-it-yourself filing for something as simple as a Chapter 7. It's a whole lot more complicated in a Chapter 13. People have done it. I'm not a big fan of DIY bankruptcy. I'm a huge fan of so many DIY attributes to financial answers or implementing your own solutions, but bankruptcy is just not one of them. In fact, statistics show that consumers who try that pro se process, which is just a term for doing it yourself, have less success. They do not access the full benefits of the bankruptcy process. And why wouldn't you want to access the full benefits if it's a terrible thing to go through in the first place? So having a guide, having a professional makes a lot of sense. Some of the only resources out there as far as filing on your own might be some local nonprofit community resources, low-income legal aid that might be able to help you. There's a few published books on it. Nolo Press puts out a good one. So if you're really set on DIY bankruptcy, it's probably because you can't afford the attorney fees, which will average around $1,800 around the country, some higher, some lower, for a Chapter 7, or $3,000 for a Chapter 13. Those fees are money well spent, but if you can't, then you have to look to some of the other opportunities out there. I want to be able to provide you more detail and more feedback about how to do bankruptcy on your own, but it's just a limited subject. You're going to be better served by going into our forums, discussing this issue of what you can do on your own, how you might be able to seek some local resources. We've got tons of community members. You might have some local to you that have done this before, or we've got a bunch of people that are so helpful you can ask questions and we can help look up some resources for you. So if you need more help, get into the bankruptcy section of our forum. If you really want to look for maximized results, it's best to speak with an attorney. And you can do that today, right now, by calling the toll-free number you see on the screen.